Hello, everybody, and welcome to the episode. It is Roll20 presents Apocalypse World. Happy Friday the 13th, International Day of the Faceless.
Hey!
Yay!
That's right.
That's you.
You get your own holiday, Day of the Faceless today.
Do I get to always roll 12s today?
Don't forget not to go camping today, or if you do go camping, don't forget your chainsaw and hockey mask. Very important. Important for camping.
All right, I'll pack that stuff.
Good. So, how's everybody been since the last time we played Apocalypse World?
Oh, okay. Since a week
I know
ago.
how you've been doing since yesterday. So I get to. I mean, I'm always curious about this. Let me ask you something. So, for me, because I'm emceeing this whole thing, and I think this is probably true of all people in an MC, GM, whatever role, I think about the game all the time. Like, not in large concentrated chunks, but like little bits and pieces throughout the week between sessions.
Oh boy.
And then I do my prep. Is that something that as players happens to you? Do you find that you're like
100%.
pondering the game and the characters and all that stuff? Is that a thing?
Yep.
Every time I'm playing any kind of character for anything, they become like in the background part of my like, oh, that thing that suits this thing or whatever. Like and they just never go away ever now. Like Heron is gonna be in there like way after. I'm still thinking about Zahiri. God damn it! Like,
I think every time anyone talks about or I see anybody getting headbutted in a movie or TV show,
Yeah!
I definitely think of Zahiri.
Headbutt maneuvers, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go back and watch the previous couple episodes to like catch up with what's been going on and then hypothesize like what may happen or character motivations on actions that I didn't have motivations for while it was happening.
I go creep on the YouTube comments. And while I'm there, I accidentally watch whole episodes.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Oh, this part was good. Oh, this part was good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, ooh, I want to see what that looks like from an outsider perspective, you know? Like,
or looking at all of your faces when I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like that. Totally.
Because at the time I'm just trying to think of what the next thing I'm gonna say is, and I'm like, and then I look at all of your faces. Dave makes some good faces. I like Dave's faces.
Blue Jay, you make the best reaction.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I think that I think like it's an MC tactic in Apocalypse World to cultivate apocalyptica so that it can be later barfed forth. But I think it helps for players too. I think it helps to like think about the context of your character, and you can get sort of prompted to do that. Here's another question for particularly for Blue Jay and for Elf, and I think I know your answer, Elf, already. Do you find that you end up talking about the game and your characters on your stream? Like, do people ask you about like the week's episode? Anything like that? I mean, I know that's a big part of your stream. Elf is just like talking about role-playing games, but
yeah, I talk about my characters a lot.
Yeah.
I find that for these games, I consciously like try and avoid talking about whatever happened that week because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's going to catch the VODs or like whatever. And I try really hard to be like vague about when I'm talking about them. I'm like, yes, there was a really good part that I really liked, and it was you know, Blue Jay's character did this thing, you know, or whatever, like that kind of, you know. But I don't like go into detail that week. Though the week after, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. So it's past now. I don't care if I spoil it for you like a week after it's come up.
Right, that's good. Yeah, that's a tricky thing.
I don't think I talk about it as much. I think it's mostly because I mean, Elf, you've been doing roleplay stuff for a lot longer than I have, so your audience is already like engaged with that. My audience was established like with other like interests at the forefront, I guess, and a lot of them have recently like gotten into it. Like I'll see them in chat and I'll be like, oh, that's one of mine. Like,
my little
look at you, you're so cute. But sometimes, yeah, probably not even nearly as often. But it's definitely been more and more as time goes on because people have people watch it, and also people from here come into my stream and they want to talk about it where before they didn't even know I existed. So
I'm the kind of person who makes playlists, like song playlists for characters.
Ah, yes, you make mixtapes
just
for
to
your
get,
characters.
just to get in the mood. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm that kind of person. Heron's song, by the way, is Arsonist's Lullaby by Hosier.
Oh yes.
I had a player recently who did that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, who did playlists. They died before they hit level 2.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
that
we-
sucks.
we acknowledged this on Twitter earlier this week that the more invested you get in your character, the more
so-
likely they are to die.
So
Oh
much.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I
I
think,
had I had a character in a D&D game right around when 4th edition came out, and they were putting out material for it and stuff, and we were playing a game, and my friend Chris had made a character. He'd made a bard, and he went to the local game store and he bought a deck of those spell cards for his character, and he came back to the table and he's like, yeah, I got this this mini for my guy. I'm gonna paint him, and I got this deck of cards. He was dead before the end of the session, dead. And I felt so bad. And I was like,
Yeah.
you could play a different bard, I guess. And he's like, no, I'm never playing a bard again. I'm gonna be a warlord.
It hurts so much.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I got art made of Gravaris and Lane, and they're still around.
That's true. It's true. They're still around.
I guess you personally have to be that invested.
And I mean, regardless, I still cherish the art of Zahiri. That was.
Yes,
So
we should
cute.
we should all take after Brace and learn to love the dead. I think
Yeah.
that's what we need to do. We need to make sure
Yeah.
that we love the dead.
I'm in a constant state of trying to dissociate my love of characters from them specifically, so that I don't like collapse when they die.
Yep.
The first fan art somebody made for the Shadow or Lane is still my phone background. It's so humbling.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, it's super humbling, like that somebody would care enough about the thing to make art of it.
Or that your creative output inspires more creative
Exactly.
output.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
Well, maybe something that we can do as a group after we're done with this season of Apocalypse Worlds, we can go back and we can all pick a couple of songs for our characters, and we can make like a Spotify playlist we can share with everybody and be like,
Do it. Yes.
the
let's
series
do it.
the series 2 Apocalypse Worlds says I can think of a few.
That would be awesome.
I
We
can
could
think
have,
of
like,
a few
11,
themes for
12
various
songs.
NPCs.
Mhm.
I'd have to find something really
Yeah,
gross
I
and
know this
industrial
character's one.
sounding.
I've got the dice song and I've got the heron song, so we're good.
Brace's songs are gonna be really fucking
I got a
weird.
Ferris song.
The dice song is Headstrong by Trapped.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brace's songs are just like white noise and shit. It's kind of great.
It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing thinking about because you only have like the palette that you're gonna paint with is the only songs you've ever heard, right? Like there may be a perfect song for a character that you don't already know.
Well, that's why these
That's why you-
nerds need to throw them in our discords, right?
That's why you farm it out to other people,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, collective
Nice.
internet
Do it.
consciousness. Can
Do
you
it.
please?
Totally.
Thanks.
I mean, I can tell you right now that weird white noise music would be something like Sun or
hmm
some other like noise band. Yeah.
Boris.
Yeah, Boris would be good.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, and I like thinking about themes for particular episodes, and very rarely I can. There were a couple of episodes of the first series where I was able to say like this episode, this is going to be the theme song for sure. There was that White Lung song called "Drown the Monster," and I was like, this is perfect for this episode. I knew what was going to happen. But it's so much harder because everything is so rare and like random, and you're like, okay, well, we have to figure this out at the end because the characters don't fully exist yet. We haven't seen the end of their story. So cool.
I think
I'm
it's
gonna-
a really good idea.
yeah.
Definitely.
I'm gonna make a note. We could do a little project together. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
A little
Mhm.
group
More
mixtape.
things with friends.
We can have a team building exercise together.
Team building. I love team building. Can I do the trust fall?
On the internet, that would totally work. Yeah, I'll catch you
Yeah.
up. It's fine.
All right.
Tip your chair over backwards. All right. So let's do Apocalypse World starting stuff. Highlighting.
Yes.
Well, before any of that
Why?
happens, do we need to uncover the mystery of Dave? Dave was being very mysterious at the beginning of during our pre-show.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on over there, Dave? What's happening?
I might have used my sixth advancement on Ferris to make a second character.
Oh, second
Who dis?
character. Yeah, new dude. Who dis? Yeah. So what you're making a new character? Tell us about your new character. Who is this person?
So for my second character, I have another robot. This one is called Scrap, and it is a gun lugger.
Oh God.
I love this like, well, I know that things are coming to a head, and I could use some backup on my agenda, so now I have a gun-toting robot. It's very good. Good tactics.
Well, I guess I need to take not to be fucked with now.
I mean, I already have that, yep. So
All right, so
It's gonna be bad news.
So is Scrap something that that Ferris built, or is Scrap someone who emerged from the dying grounds at the appointed time? Tell us more about that.
I think I was reading the like the advice and stuff for making a second character, and I figured they shouldn't be kind of like always together.
Yeah.
So Ferris did not make them. I think they also awakened in the same way that Ferris did, and hopefully, despite maybe being or having similar agendas, they're probably going to go about them in very different ways.
Yeah.
And there's hopefully gonna be- yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. I dig
might
it.
be interesting.
Okay, so let's introduce Scrap. So, yeah, just tell us. We got your name, Scrap the Gunlugger. Tell us your look, what moves you took.
Okay. So in terms of look, I think we're gonna say, yeah, we're gonna go transgressing because they are very aggressively non-human.
Cool.
I think that fits as a tag for that, unless I'm misusing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean you're transgressing normative models of humanity, which can include gender.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder if this is okay. So here is something I maybe should have asked before the session, but I'm thinking about it now. In terms of referring to Scrap, I think the correct way to refer to it is it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, as long as that is okay, because I know for a lot of this, it's tied into real world experiences, and
I feel like because people are allowed to choose the pronouns they want to be referred to, it is as valid as anything else.
Yeah.
okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't being insensitive or whatever.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But I think Scrap is very non-human, so I'm gonna go with transgressing.
Okay.
In terms of armor, we're going for battered and old.
Okay.
A blasted face.
And blasted face meaning like your human facade is blasted, or you have like damaged robot face. Like, do you just, because Ferris covered up the fact that that he was an artificial person, but does Scrap just walk around with a jagged metal face all the time, or?
Yeah, Scrap is I think so not to prescribe too much about what happened in the past, what happened in the apocalypse. Scrap is like a large like humanoid mining robot or
Okay.
like a big industrial like exosuit, but retrofitted with like a machine gun and like rocket pods.
So you're a Gundam.
Yeah, a little bit, but obviously much like more industrial, more like
Yeah.
big like gears showing arms, hydraulics like playing through them and stuff. Maybe it probably has like on the chest piece where a human pilot would go. It's probably like welded over or shut, and it says like condemned or something, or has the yellow and black like warning stuff.
I like it.
Yeah, in terms of a head, I was thinking it probably doesn't need like a separate head on top, because it would have been normally like human optics, so it's just like rewired cameras in that it's taking feeds from and stuff. So the blasted face, I think, is just
You don't really have a face in any traditional place where one would have a face.
yeah, it's like heavy duty mining, and then also probably some kind of combat. So scrappy, maybe not. Well, definitely not at full capacity. It's not been serviced for a very long time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
In this
so
episode of
I was-
Apocalypse World, all the PCs die. Every day.
All right, cool. What else you got for look? Anything else?
So eyes doesn't really fit. I already described that. And in terms of body, yeah, I think battered and overbuilt and probably huge as well.
Yep.
All fit, like I say. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And what did you take for your stats, and what are your moves? What are your gunlugger moves that you took?
Okay, so my stat line, including one of the moves I took, is 2 cool, 3 hard, -2 hot, 0 sharp, and 0 weird.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, because weird requires being able to have a brain to open to the maelstrom, which you can still do, but just not as well. And -2 hot, yes, you are not traditionally something that people would be able to be socially manipulated by, but cool and hard as your highest stats totally makes sense. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's the +1 hard move I took. I took blood crazed for increased harm. I don't think that necessarily represents blood, like being crazed in a traditional sense, because there's not like the connotations of being like a crazy like psycho from Borderlands or anything. It's just more harm because it's all industrial grade stuff. Like using it against a single person is overkill.
Okay. Yeah.
And similarly, in terms of just being big and scary, it is absolutely not to be fucked with.
I would say so. I would, if I were to look at a thing like that, I would probably say, yes, do not fuck with that. So yeah, like it'll be interesting seeing this character because you are very much a giant killer robot. But by the rules of the game, you are as much a person with personhood as everyone else is.
Yeah.
And your moves are descriptive and prescriptive. So yes, you are perceived to be insano like Drano and blood crazed and not to be fucked with. But how those get expressed in the world will be a matter of play.
Yeah, I like the idea of it being an impending thing, but seeing how it interacts with everybody who already exists and the world that's already been established, and seeing whether it ends up like being used, or like whether that's a thing that's going to happen. Will it be a new apocalypse? Like maybe no, because it has the capacity to be one probably.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to roll up and be like, okay, these people disagree with Ferris. I'm just going to kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing, right? I trust you also not to do that. Like, yeah, I just made this other character so I could kill everybody who disagrees with my first character.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds really scary.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is we'll figure out what Ferris's relationship with with Scrap is as well as we go. Cool. All right. So I guess we do Hex with Scrap.
Yeah. I need to go through and find. So I got a lot of the different bits of PDF because I decided this was what was going to happen like 10 minutes ago. So.
Good. That's fair.
Oh no, that's got the Hex. Okay. It's interesting because all the questions are very, very like, human. Which one of you left me bleeding and did nothing for me?
Yeah, I mean, bleeding
could just be broken.
Bleeding's a metaphor, right? It's not literally bleeding, like bleeding out, dying, helpless, that sort of thing.
Yeah. The way I'm thinking about bringing the character in, I don't think like it fits.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
well, because with the how did we do this?
Already knew of Scraps.
How do we do this for Heron? Right? It was everybody.
Most of the questions went.
Dave-
I mean,
Dave
I just
gets
ask
his turn
questions.
and asks his questions, and then the rest of us on our turn, we just say if we know them. Or
Yeah.
not. And if we know it, it gets +1. If we don't know it, it gets -1.
Okay.
But all of the gunlugger questions would still happen.
Yeah.
okay.
If you're introducing a new character, can you be like, I think that my previous character would answer this question in terms of Hex, or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The new character is a character, a similar character in exactly the same way as everybody else is. Dave is just playing 2.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for which one of you is the prettiest and or smartest? The smartest is Ferris.
Yeah.
I'm the prettiest.
But you don't have Hex with your own character, Dave.
Do you not do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Which one of you is the prettiest then? Yeah. Well, I think Karen. So let me write that in.
So humble.
Giant killer robot.
Listen, there's not a whole lot to compete against here, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty ugly too.
By definition, the Skinner
I mean-
almost always wins this situation.
I think that Heron is beautiful in Heron's art. Heron.
I mean, she is beautiful, but to Heron,
But that's not like contextual. Context can be anything.
I guess.
Like, of all of the people, like Heron is the most beautiful.
Like the rules of the game require that you be very beautiful.
It's
Like
true.
Yep.
or that your art is beautiful or whatever, right? Like
Well, and also the cultural artistic paradigm has shifted dramatically such that everyone would agree.
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Become the definition.
Oh, guys, so much support. I feel so nice inside.
Yeah, wait till we actually start playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heron's
Aw.
beautiful. Get out of my way.
But I will kill you with this axe.
Exactly. You'd be
I mean, that's fine. I
you're
don't
gonna make a beautiful corpse. Okay, what's
like-
your
I like
other
that.
questions that you have to ask, Dave?
I'm gonna leave the other ones. I only need to ask one.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So for everybody else, you're minus. Well, I will give you -1. I find no particular need to understand most people.
Okay, so you have a -1 with everybody except Heron. And then each of
Would
you
we would get whatever we get, basically.
you get a +1 or a -1, whether you if you know Scrap or not, if you've seen this thing before.
Is there any way I would know Scrap, Dave?
I mean,
Or are you an edgelord mysterious stranger?
Based on my understanding of the world and the prep that I've done, I feel like everyone should have a -1. with
Well,
Scrap.
but what about like on my hex? It says for everyone else, right? Hex +1, you're a good and quick judge of others.
Oh,
Like, is
it's
that
not like that for new characters. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
either a +1 or -1.
Okay, so it's a -1.
No,
I
I
didn't
think
know
it.
that was a thing.
I think it's a -1 for everybody.
Yeah.
While I'd like to have it been already established, I never thought this far ahead.
Mhm.
So I don't think it makes much sense.
No, and it's
'cause
just
a
now.
miscellaneous.
Now is
right
a time for awakenings. Now is like you, Scrap. You came.
It's ominous, Adam.
What's that?
I said that's ominous, Adam.
Oh yeah. You Scrap. You woke up for a reason. You may not know what it is, but you dragged yourself bodily up from the rusting fields of Scrap, knowing that something out there awaits you, but not knowing what it is just yet.
Is it Valhalla?
No, not. It's not Valhalla. It's something though. Something. Okay, great. Well, Scrap has entered the picture.
Yep.
Let's highlight and do all that business.
Oh, one little piece of information for everyone. I took the move. Oh yeah.
What is that?
You turned
it's-
into a big red plastic jug.
I can Kool-Aid man through the wall, basically. That is where the move gets its name. So roll was hard to smash your way through scenery or to get away from something.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Let's start with the heron for highlighting.
So, Brace.
I highlight you.
Yeah.
I think that Heron should. Oh, let's just go hot. Be hot. Be really hot.
Sweet.
Okay.
Adam.
I'm gonna highlight your weird.
Cool.
Yeah, weird for sure. Cool. All right. Tynan.
It's between Ferris and Brace. So Ferris.
Okay. I think. I think you'll probably, regardless of what happens, need to be cool.
I'm so cool.
Okay, you're cool. I will highlight your hard.
Yay.
Cool and
I
hard.
want to smash.
Hard and cool. Okay. Brace.
Tynant.
I mean, yeah, just do your weird.
Thank you.
Whoa, Andrew, did somebody highlight your grudging today? Just do
It's
weird.
always highlighted. Class feature of being me.
Okay. Brace. So weird and hot.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hot. Yep. Okay. Ferris.
Ferris is highlighted by Aaron.
Highlight your weird, buddy.
Thank you.
Is Scrap also highlighted by me?
Yes.
Hard.
That Adam needs to do.
Oh yeah, I can do both. Yeah. So Ferris got which one?
Weird.
Weird.
Okay. I'm gonna highlight your sharp, Ferris.
Thank you.
And Scrap. What highlight did Scrap get?
Hard.
Hard.
Okay. I will highlight Scraps. really want to highlight your hot, but that's such a dick move. I will highlight.
I mean, it'll be interesting if you do. It'll
yes.
just mean
I just want you to fail so I can make lots of moves. No, I will
Yes,
highlight.
totally.
I'll highlight your weird. I think things are weird, weird and hard.
okay. Whoa. Let's give it a go.
All right, cool. So people who have pregame moves, so fortunes
Mm-hmm.
and bone feel, let's get those. Get those on the board.
You did it.
All right. So the gang or the cult, rather, the cult of ghosts is augury, growth, judgment, or no judgment. Augury, growth, violence, rigorous, argumentative, and insight.
Mhm.
They're also on their
Well,
own right now.
Just
You're not.
insight, rigorous and argumentative are just words. Insight is the surplus.
Yeah. But they're all still. That's still true of them.
It is true of them, yes.
Yeah, and you're down in the town right now, so
Not
the-
to say that there aren't ghosts.
yeah, they're doing these things while you're away. Okay, all right. And then Bonefield.
Yep. I need more. I need to get my third monitor back online for having 2 character sheets up.
Little Roll20 trick. If you have your character sheet and you don't pop it out, you can double click on the name and it'll make it into like a little transparent tab that you can put wherever you want, and then double click it again and it pops back open. I don't know if y'all have been using that, but I use it for
on accident one time.
so when
That's
when I do like GMing D&D, when I have like 6 different monsters rather than have a bunch of tabs open, I'll just keep them on one side of the screen, and then I can pop them up, use them, and then pop them back, and they just float there.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, it helps. It helps
Took
with the,
1,500 hours in, and I just didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, it helps with the monitor space because I have the same issue.
All right, so I 12 on Bonefield.
Nice.
So again, today it can be spent by either the MC or myself. Actually, no, it's just by me. But if you have a cool idea, I'm very much open to it. I can appear somewhere with the correct tools or know-how and take one forward for whatever situation I'm in.
Excellent. All right. Cool. So I think scrap notwithstanding, because I didn't know that it existed until just now. The whole group is kind of in the interstitial space between Ferris's lab and the rest of the world. Doom is there on the front porch. It's raining because it's always fucking raining. Recently, and I guess I don't know, how soundproof is your like lab space, Ferris?
I don't think very.
Okay,
I
so
like
at some point in the last like hour, you all heard like a deep like sound, and there was like a shaking, but you were all busy fighting each other and trying to inject stuff into it. You were busy. But when you come outside, once you get outside, you can see there's a column of black smoke lit underneath by fire. And the clouds above are lit by fire, which means the fire is very large. Over where Bill's house, I was gonna say is, but past tense. Over where Bill's
Should I
palace.
just cross off this one hold with Bill?
Yeah, Bill's very large.
Great.
Side note, that last game I did say to Trench to send dudes over there and find out what's happening.
Yes, you did indeed ask Trench to send his men to die. So that is definitely occurring while this is happening. And so we've got the outside of Ferris's place, this kind of like low, solid looking building, as compared to the degradation of Templetown, right? Like we're getting a nice long establishing shot to let us all know that Templetown has really gone to shit. There are like corpses in the street, people who have died of thirst, people who have died of addiction because the drug supply has dried up, just laying in the mud face down. There are no animals pecking at their bodies because animals don't come to Templetown. It's not a good place. And so the dark sky is lit this kind of amber, this greasy amber from below by the great fire burning over where Bill's Castle Canadian Tire used to be. And so, yeah, as you step out into the slightly ashy dampness of the world, you see Heron approaching, and Doom standing on the wooden planks of the house, of the deck outside the house.
Oh yeah, I was on my way over there, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And we were like busy leaving because it went cray.
Yeah. So Heron, you approach and you see Ferris, Tynant, and Brace all there. Nipperkin is there as well.
So I look specifically to Ferris. I'm not really there for the other two, and we've actually, I don't think, had any interaction since Heron became a thing.
You and
Me, Brace, and Tynant have never spoken.
Yeah. Totally.
So
We made the
So-
point that previous to your second character that Brace like knew of you though.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I've been around, we know of each other, but in terms of our relationship, you are as important to me at this current moment as Doom is. So
Sure.
like I am like looking towards Ferris as I approach, and I say like, Ferris, Trench needs an update.
I guess at some point, Ferris has put his mask back on.
Okay.
Just to make this a little bit easier. So,
yeah, going very well. In fact, we just there's a final ingredient, catalyst of some kind that we just acquired.
Really? Well, good. We're going to need it to be done soon. We're running out of everything.
I was hoping that's what you'd say. Yeah, and when you say that, like, we're running out of everything, there are several sort of tearing sounds of automatic machine gun fire from the distance that echo off the cloud layer.
See? Everything.
Yes. Oh, it sounds very, very bad out there. Actually, yes, it should take a matter of minutes now that everything's together, I think. Have all the preparations, we just needed that last piece.
I'm going to read you.
And that was the water that you got from me, right?
yes. Yep.
When I'm reading Ferris, do I roll my hex with Ferris?
But Ferris could
No.
interfere with Hex.
Okay.
Yeah, you just roll your sharp or whatever the appropriate stat is.
7.
Okay. Ferris, are you trying to interfere, or are you being particularly easy to read, or just let it let it hit the 7?
No, we'll see. You can feel free to ask the question. I will answer truthfully.
Cool. What does your character intend to do?
My character Ferris intends to complete the job he's been asked to do, and as soon as he gets an opportunity.
Okay. That's perfect. I mean, that was just like Heron giving you a quick, like, I don't know if I believe you. Nah, we're good. You know?
Good.
All right. Well, then hurry. Time is of the essence.
I was just entertaining guests.
Yes, I
What if-
see that.
If they're on their way out, then
Yes, we're leaving.
He shrugs in the background in that case.
Step aside and let Brace and Tynant pass if they're leaving.
I think that like Brace's goal is still to like not be at 9 harm, please.
I mean, I think as you're leaving, I would say, if you care at all about what's happening in this town, I know you're from up there, but it sounds to me like we're going to have a problem or have a problem right now. Weapons, people would be helpful.
And whose side are you suggesting I fight on?
I suppose that depends. I'd like you to help Trench personally.
So that's where your loyalties lie.
Yes, it is.
And like Brace looks at Tynan, and I don't think we've had a discussion yet as to like me telling you exactly what the ghosts wanted from you when we did the whole like psychic thing earlier. But she like looks at Tynan, and then she looks back at Heron and says, "Perhaps we shall have a discussion later."
There isn't going to be a later. There's a now
There are
and a
things I need.
soon.
There are things I need to attend to before I can do any sort of engagement.
Attend quickly. I'll be waiting.
Where?
Nearby. Follow the guns.
And she just nods and like motions to Tynant, like, are we good? Go somewhere.
Yeah, and I just like start walking.
I think that Brace would probably like, because we're not going back to the temple, but does Tynant still have the ability to use the source to heal? No?
Fuck
No.
no.
No?
No.
Okay.
No, I still have step into the flow, Adam. We talked about it.
Yeah, it's just different.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to use the ghosts or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I would need your cult to be there. is the-
Okay.
I like how everybody like, I got fictional shit to do, and Brace like, I need to get my hit points back.
I need to.
No, it's
I'm
good.
gonna get wrecked. Well, at
Bryce,
the
are
very
you
least, we need to
sure?
find a what?
Brace, are you sure I can't help you? As a show of good faith, at least.
And like, is Nipperkin and like in the shot? Like,
Yeah, Nipperkin's like in the background. You can see him through the still open door. He's like lurking in the back watching.
He's viziering hard.
you and your allies made it very clear that you had no interest in healing me, at least not in the way I wish to be healed, Ferris. And she like makes that like, I know what's under your mask. Like, look.
Well, good luck finding something.
Good luck with your dying, flesh bag.
I guess we would. I want to find a place where I can like be not around explosions for just a second.
Okay, so
and-
not here, but somewhere else that's safe.
Might I
Yeah.
posit? Might I posit? There's
Yeah.
an empty bar.
Oh, do not go there.
Do not go there.
Well,
Or
let's
that
roll.
little
You're gonna
shack that Brace had before.
finding somewhere safe is a product of knowing what the situation is. So why don't you try to, if you and Tynant are gonna leave and go find somewhere safe, you can roll to read the situation, and then you can ask your questions.
I love the immediate. Do not go there.
Don't do that thing.
I have to know what's up now.
So yeah, so I guess is that the thing? Like Tynant, do you and Brace just are you like we gotta go? Like how do you communicate, Brace? What do you say to Tynant to be like what's the plan here? You're all standing here in the rain. Doom is like looking off in the distance like there's a fight, and I'd love to be a part of that fight, but I have to protect Ferris. Well, I have to protect the drugs, but Ferris is the drug guy, so I gotta protect him. And then Heron, you're kind of here giving orders from Trench, and that's maybe surprising Doom like a little bit. There's a tension here for sure.
I feel like-
Does Doom look like she's? I guess it's not my read.
I feel like whatever Brace communicates to Tynant, like I don't know if it's like super like loud or just like a hey, like there's something that I didn't like clarify that needs to be clarified before we do whatever we do in this town. So whatever that means to Tynant's character, like whether it's like no, let's go fight things, or like let's just go back and let this place fuck itself up. Like I don't know what Tynant wants.
You're saying you want to go back to the temple?
No, I'm saying that Brace needs to tell Tynant what the ghosts want of him because she never did.
Okay, well,
And
Yeah,
that
we're,
would
like, walking.
decide perhaps like what we do in the town or not do.
so yeah, maybe this is like on the way. Like you're just like, okay, we're going into town, and I like follow along, and we can
Like
just,
like
talk while we're
go
walking.
back and have had this conversation. Or like from Ferris's to
Yeah, like on the way,
Okay. yeah.
because it's a long walk.
Okay, so you would be willing to just leave this situation with like should we read the situation before we go?
Yeah,
to
I mean, you're
have a
reading
goal?
the situation, the charge situation is all the shit that's going on in
whole
Temple
town.
Town. Yeah, right
Okay.
now.
So that's just sharp. Okay.
All right. What would you like to know about this situation? Let me paint a picture first. So
Okay.
the town, to function, to stay up out of the mire, right? Because it rains a lot, and everything's sort of muddy. You're in like a muddy valley. For the town to continue functioning, there were people employed by Bill who cleaned the pathways, who made sure that the level of muck never quite like reached the slats that had been laid down to keep people there. Those people have not been working for some time. They've all receded to their homes or to the grave, and as such, the town is a quagmire, right? You're moving through a mud field. In places, entire chunks of walkway have just slidden down to the lowest point, and you can see, I think at one point, as you're moving around where the path used to be, you can see this big like mudslide has dragged down into a pit, and you can see like emaciated bodies lying in that pit, half buried. The rain has started to erode the town. Many of the ramshackle buildings that people lived in, the like corrugated steel huts, have collapsed in on themselves. You walk past several fires where badly wired or badly designed cooking or heating solutions have just burst into flames for not being maintained. The town is a wasteland, and all that really remains of any sort of stability, the only place that still has lights and walls and all of that, and you can see it from any part of the town, is the brutalist concrete tower in which Trench and the rest of the dregs live. What would you like to know about this situation?
I love that they're called the dregs.
Yeah.
Dregs. I feel like, and Andrew, you're like totally like suggest anything that you think would be valuable to ask, because I think we're both kind of reading.
Well, that's the question, right? So Brace is obviously soaking all this in, right? Looking around, observing things. Tynan, what are you doing while this is happening?
Right, okay.
I think Tynan's kind of having the like PTSD horror moment where it's just like everything is dead. And yeah, I think I'm probably going to open my brain.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so should I ask questions first? Or
I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
I think you go ahead, open your brain, see what happens, and then I'll ask questions.
Okay, so I open my brain with cool still. It goes great.
It goes so great. Okay. All right. We'll get to this in a second. Ask your questions, Brace.
Okay. I guess what should I be on the lookout for is a good one in this situation. Like,
you are in a town whose only living occupants are desperate addicts who haven't had a fix in some time. The only people left in town who haven't died are either going through horrible withdrawal from the shit that the dregs made, or haven't drank clean. They've been drinking from the dead well for days. There is danger all around you.
nice.
You're surrounded by enemies.
Okay, well, what enemy is most vulnerable to me?
Most vulnerable to you. I mean, Templetown, in a way, because all you have to do is nothing, and they'll all just die.
But, okay, yeah.
So all of Templetown is your enemy. You know that walking through it. You feel a deep spiritual revulsion for this place, this unsavable, suppurating wound on the earth. You could just flood the place and sink it into the ocean forever.
Though?
Yes, like absolutely. You feel that deep inside you. You feel like, and I don't know how Brace interprets this feeling, but you sense a feeling of like, first of all, like this place is dangerous to be in, but second of all, I could go fucking Old Testament on this place and just make it go away forever. So you're walking through this wasteland with a certain feeling of imperiousness, of sort of godliness, right? That you have the control here of these people's lives. They're vulnerable to you in a deep, powerful way.
Okay.
Do you wonder, or does it occur to you? I'm gonna ask you a question. Does it occur to you that maybe this is how Tynant used to feel? Like Tynant with their hand on the spigot, being like, "Oh, no water for you, town." Right? That total feeling of control over a bunch of like faceless worms.
I think that the way Tynant used to feel, in my perception of it at least, is like they were very much about like trying to help. At least from what they said. But yeah, their way of helping was probably very much like, you don't do what I think is what you should do, so I have control. Yeah, I guess it's like, in a way, I don't think Brace would say this is what Tynant used to feel in her head. I think that Brace kind of doesn't, she's not very empathetic
You don't
in
say.
that way. Yeah, right. I think it's more that Brace is just like, this is a task that has been set before me, and the ghosts are the pretty much only things that she like. I mean, at this point, and Tynant, not before, but the ghosts and Tynant are the only people she really listens to or cares about. So like, she'll be like, all of these scum, these bodies, these people that are just trying to like, I don't know, get their fix or something. Like, it's not important.
Okay.
I don't think that she would be like, this is what Tiny used to feel like. No.
All right. Do you have another question?
Um,
Because you have 3, right?
yeah. I think, where's my best way? I don't know, way in? Yeah. Because in her vision, she was in the Rothball's place. Like, that's like where she thinks she needs to go. So where's her best way in?
Heron can get you into the Fortress of the Dregs. You just got to make nice, or trick, or kill her, or something. But she has the way in.
Trick or kill her?
Yeah, I mean, just use her to get you in.
You know, it's the classic post-apocalyptic game of make nice, trick, kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
I mean, that's my favorite game.
Yeah, it's in that order though. If one doesn't work, you move on to the next.
Yeah.
That's why Dice always lost. She just escalated to kill every time.
Yeah, I actually like that
Oh,
game.
Dice, you're playing wrong.
Fuck, marry, kill. Trench, Rolf Ball, Dice.
Okay. So I guess like we've already at this point left Ferris's and are at like the entrance to the town seeing all this bullshit. Is that, or are we viewing all of this from before we leave Ferris's?
This is all happening as you're moving through the town.
Okay.
Your allowance to make that roll is as you pass through town. Now, Tynant, can you set the scene for your opening of your brain for me? What is it like?
I mean, all that same shit that Brace is seeing,
Mm-hmm.
and being like, yes, I am the god, god of death, come to this place to wipe it clean.
Mhm.
I'm just like, I remember a time when I used to try to build things. And so I'm kind of looking at it through that lens, and, you know, it's raining, and the rain is kind of part of what triggers Tynant's, you know, weather eye, right, is the moon. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have this like vision of this place. Because yeah, I'm just like horrified at what has become of all of this.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that as you're walking, you look, I guess it would be slightly uphill. So you look uphill, through a space between 2 buildings, and you see a figure, pale and wan, long, like matted black hair, naked, they're not dressed, a child of some indeterminate gender. And they're like, and when I say child, I mean like 9, like 8 or 9, like,
Hmm.
and they're crouched down in this alley, and they're grabbing like handfuls of water from a puddle, and there's a pipe that's run. It would normally be running under the town that comes from the temple and runs water into the town, but the rain has washed away all of the coverage soil on top of
Yeah,
the
so
pipe.
it's like exposed.
So there's just this exposed, and it's in that awful like like weird green color that plastic piping that's used for like sewage and stuff is, and it's been cracked open, and there's just this puddle of like muddy like black water, and the kid is just like shoveling handfuls of it into their face. They have their back to you. You just hear them like gasping and slurping, like drinking this water.
Hmm. Well, that's gross and sad. Yeah, Tynan's just like not happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But they have their mask on, so it's okay. They don't need to feel feelings or be a person.
That's right. When you walk by and you look at the kid looks up and looks at you, and like the only part of them that's clean is like from their nose down where the water has been like shoveled into their face. And they look up at you, and one of their eyes is just like a white, like cataracted like sphere, but the other one is clear and looks at you. And the kid's got their hair in their face, and they let out this kind of like low, kind of like gurgling sound that comes from like in their throat, and it's all congested. It's this kind of like clicking hiss, like they're trying to talk. And then they run off, scared. They run behind them. There's a chain link fence that's been cut open, and they slip through it, and disappear. You can hear their feet slapping on the mud over the sound of the rain.
Okay.
And yeah, Tynan just like leans in close to Brace and it's just like, staying here is not going to be smart. If there's something we're here to do, let's do it and be gone.
You asked me before what the ghost wanted of you, Tynant. This place needs to disappear. I think you would agree.
Yeah, and I do the like slow nod, but you can't see my face, and it's not clear like how Tynan feels about it. And Tynan isn't sure. I mean, that much is kind of obvious, I think, that they're just like conflicted about it. And yeah, I like pull the mask off of my face so I can like properly look at you. How would we destroy something like this? How would we wipe it clean? Do they
And
have
like she takes like a long look at you, and she says, "Water, Tynant."
Yeah, and I like look significantly at your like stomach where the source is.
Yeah.
I need you to do something for me, Brace. So you're thinking about this. You're in this place. You feel a sudden like racking pain in your stomach. Your knees tremble and you get tunnel vision. You can't hear. Like Tynan is speaking. Like, how would we do? And then just like disappears the sound of Tynan's voice. And Tynan, you can see Brace like wobble slightly. Can you act under fire for me, Brace, please? Okay.
Flinch, hesitate, or stall.
All right, I can give you a choice. I'm a hard choice here. This is my favorite move in the game for this exact reason. All right, so you got two choices here. You can resist the thing that's happening to you, but it's gonna hurt. There will be a cost in there's going to be pain. It'll be painful and you will suffer for it. Or you can let it happen and something about you will change.
I mean, Brace would associate like the stomach feelings, the pain, the like nausea like with the source, and I don't think whether that's true or not. I don't think she would be like, if anything, it would be like a no, not yet, maybe. But I don't know. I don't think that she would be like, let me stop whatever's happening from happening, because I think she associates it with what she's supposed to do, right? So,
Maybe. I'm not going to give you any more information than that.
no, she's not gonna no, I don't resist.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sign up for oodles of pain and horror.
So Tynant, you see this happen. You see Brace like wobble a little, and then her eyes roll back in her head, and she's about to fall backwards. And if she just goes limp, and if she falls here, like she'll hit her head hard.
No, yeah, I catch her, of course.
Okay.
Like very gently, like scoop her up.
Yeah. So you reach out to grab her, and you get her by the elbow, and like taking off a pair of like dishwashing gloves, her skin just peels off, just all the way from her elbow off her fingers, like an inside out glove made out of skin, and just.
So yeah, immediately as soon as I feel it like give way, trying to grab her that way, I just like get the arm like around her.
Okay.
Very gently scoop her up.
Your fingers like dig into her like she's soft sand, like just wet sand. Like you grab her and she's like, like easy to crush.
Yeah,
you
and
have
so
to be
like,
very gentle.
While cooing to her as one would to a baby, and just being like, "Oh, it's okay, and I just like very carefully and gently just like pull her up into my arms and like kind of
hold her,
bundle her into like basically collect her into the fetal position, and just like hold her.
Yeah, you're big and she's small and light.
Under my poncho.
Yeah. So as you pick her up, you hear that same like kind of gurgling, like that noise, and you look up, and the child is back, and there are like a half dozen more like adult people, similarly kind of undressed. Like they look like they tore at their clothes but didn't all succeed to get them off. Pale skin, eyes hollow. One of them's holding like a machete in one hand. The others are holding various like objects of violence. One has a long piece of pipe with like a chunk of blood and hair matted on the end of it. And they look at you hungrily. And let's take a break here. Yeah, so let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and see who's really in control here. I guess. All right, stick around, everybody.
In control, Adam.
Yeah, stick around. We will definitely be back with more Apocalypse World.